So you decided you want to get a high-performance air filter for your vehicle. Great, a high-performance filter is going to do a better job of blocking contaminants and allow more air to flow to your engine, which is going to be great for reliability and performance. When you go to buy one, there's going to be two options, oiled or dry. Which one's correct for you? Well, let's talk about the difference. So here on the table, we have your typical OEM paper filter, we have an aftermarket high-performance dry filter, and an aftermarket high-performance oiled filter. Now, when you're shopping for a new filter for your car, if you're looking for performance, it's going to basically be dry or oiled. If you're looking at a performance application, the stock filter is not really the one you want to go with. I mean, these will do the job, but they're not designed for maximum airflow or anything like that. They're simply designed to keep contaminants out. When you're talking high-performance applications, you want more airflow, and both these are going to do that. Now, which one is right, though? Do you want to go with a dry filter or an oiled filter? Well, the answer is honestly both, because both will do the job, and they do the same job kind of the same way, but a little bit different, and we're going to start by talking about the oiled filter. So here at the table, we have a stock OEM paper filter, and I have an aftermarket oiled filter. Now, oiled filters and aftermarket dry filters are available from all the major manufacturers like S&B, K&N, and several others. And the oiled filter gets its name because it has oil in the material. So basically what these are, it's a cotton gauze material, and there's oil sprayed on it. So basically the gauze and then the oil both trap contaminants from going into your engine. Now, as you can see on the aftermarket filter, you have a lot more surface area. The whole front is open, and you have a lot more space between the grooves than you do on a paper filter. The reason being is the oil is going to trap a lot of contaminants, so the oiled filter can be more open and have larger area for air to pass through, because again, the oil helps. You can see how restrictive this would be versus how open this is going to be. Now, as far as oiled filters go, oiled filters will require maintenance because you're using oil to protect the car against contaminants. That oil is sticky and will grab a lot of particles, so you do want to clean these on a somewhat regular basis. Now, the benefit of these, though, is they are reusable. You can clean this filter, you can re-oil the filter, and you can use it for the lifetime of the car. This is a part you buy once, and as long as it doesn't get damaged, you'll never have to replace it. So we talked about the pros of the oiled filter. You have excellent filtration, excellent airflow, and again, it's pretty much reusable for life. The cons, there really aren't too many. One, you do have to clean it. Now, if you're never going to maintain this, don't buy an old filter because it will get filthy and it won't flow properly. Besides that, though, there really are no downfalls to it. Now, one thing a lot of people do say about the oiled filters is they worry about the oil getting into the engine and causing damage to the master meter or any other electrical sensors. Well, that's not going to happen if you clean it properly. The only time you're going to run into that issue is if you literally put too much oil in this filter to the point that it's dripping off. Now, in a few minutes, we're actually going to show you the proper way to clean and oil a filter, but first, let's talk about a dry filter. Now, here you can see an aftermarket dry filter versus your factory OEM paper filter. First of all, again, you can see much more surface area on the filter, a lot more places for air to get into your engine. You can also see the material is much better. Now, a lot of these dry filters will still use paper, but they use layers of better quality paper, and some do use a cotton gauze. But this is going to flow much more air than the factory one because of the open design, and it'll do a better job of filtering. The only real downfall of these filters is, again, they do have to be replaced. Now, if this gets some major dirt and stuff like larger particles, you can use compressed air to clean it out. But again, 10-20,000 miles out of a dry filter, and you're probably going to want to have to replace it. So pros of the dry filter, obviously excellent filtration, and again, you can put it in and forget about it until it's time to replace it. The negatives are you're going to have to replace it. You buy an old filter, if you maintain it, it'll last for life. A filter like this, 10-20,000 miles, and you'll probably want to replace it. But again, both do an excellent job on filtration. So this is the K&N oiled filter out of my 2019 GT350, and embarrassing to say, this is far dirtier than I thought it was going to be. This has about 10,000 miles of use, but basically around depends on use, depends where you're driving, what you're doing. I usually say every other oil change is time to clean out your filter. But basically to do that, you're going to need water, and you're going to need a cleaning kit. Now, there's a bunch of them on the market. K&N offers two different versions. It comes with a cleaner and then two different versions of oil. There's like a squeeze oil, and this is the aerosol oil, which I find actually much easier to use. But the first thing you want to do if you have compressed air is use that to clean out any of the bigger contaminants. All right, that was quite a bit dirtier than I thought, but now grab the cleaner, and again, you can use a liberal amount of this. Spray some on the inside too. Then you're gonna grab a shop sink or a hose. Now give the cleaner a couple minutes to basically penetrate into the filter. Don't let it dry though. And then again, you'll need some running water. You can see already, as soon as the water hits it, you can see it's starting to clean it. You want to run a good amount of water through it. Make sure it's cleaned out, the inside and outside. So now the boring part, basically let it dry. But if you want to, you can use the compressed air again to get some of the major water out of it, but you want to make sure the filter is completely dry before you oil it. So once your filter is thoroughly dried, you want to grab the oil, and here's where you want to be careful. You don't need to soak it. You want to put enough on, but the problem is people put it on to the point that it like drips off the filter, and that's how you cause damage. You just basically want to go like that. And you'll see as you do it, that red color comes back to it, and that's where you know you put enough on. Now if you're using the squeeze kind, you put it basically just on the top peaks here and let it soak down. If you see any spots that are particularly white, you can give them a little touch up. So once the red color is returned, you don't have any extra white spots. Basically wipe off any residual oil. It's ready to go back in the car. So which filter is right for you? I mean, that's like saying, Coke versus Pepsi. There really isn't one that's correct. It depends on the application and it depends on the person using the filter. Now, when it's clean and when it's new, the oiled filter will pass more air through, but it'll also get dirtier faster, and again, it has to be maintained. This filter will be a lot more consistent with the airflow, but when it gets dirty, you're gonna have to throw it away. So again, both will do the job. It really depends on the owner.